everyone missed this detail. The biggest part of this story is not that a house might get remodeled. It's that the one royal property most closely tied to Harry and Meghan's short-lived life inside the monarchy may now be stripped back so completely that it no longer reflects them at all. And the question hanging over everything is this: is that just practical property management, or is it a message? The Sun people here's what actually happened. A new report says plans are being reviewed to reverse the multi-million-pound renovation of Frogmore Cottage, the Windsor home Queen Elizabeth gave Harry and Meghan after their wedding. On the surface, that sounds dry, almost boring. A property decision, a maintenance issue, a housing shuffle. But there's a reason this is blowing up. Because Frogmore was never just a house. It was the physical symbol of their royal future. And now the reporting says even that symbol may be going backwards. That's why the reaction has been so immediate. The headlines didn't frame this as estate optimization. They framed it as the Sussex's final traces being wiped away. Within hours, short-form royal commentary videos started pushing exactly that angle, turning one property report into something much bigger. A visual, symbolic cleanup of the last place in Britain that still looked like Harry and Meghan's world. That shift, from renovation story to erasure story, is why people clicked. But then something changed. Once you step back from the headline, the story gets more uncomfortable. Because this isn't about them losing Frogmore now. That already happened. Harry and Meghan were asked to vacate in 2023. The BBC has already reported they no longer have an official UK home, so the new development is not separation, it's something more visual than that. It's the reported removal of what their time there actually left behind. And this is where it gets more intense. Because the strongest emotional hook in the report isn't the money, it's the wording. The reporting says the cottage could be returned to the pre-Meghan and Harry era. Not sold off in ordinary language, not refurbished neutrally. Returned to a before state, a reset, because it doesn't sound like ordinary upkeep. It sounds like someone trying to close a chapter so thoroughly that the setting itself stops remembering who lived there. Now, to be fair, there is a plain English explanation. Frogmore has reportedly sat empty for years. If a royal property has been unused that long, of course people inside the estate system are going to review options. The house was reportedly reshaped from separate dwellings into one larger family home, so undoing that could simply make it more usable again. That is the boring explanation, and boring explanations are often the right ones. But here's the problem. Royal stories rarely stay boring once symbolism enters the room. Because monarchy runs on image almost as much as it runs on protocol. Rooms matter, balconies matter, seating plans matter, websites matter, residences matter. That's why people immediately linked this Frogmore report to earlier moments when Harry and Meghan seemed to be pushed further to the edges of the royal picture, including changes on the royal website, where Harry's 2016 statement defending Meghan disappeared from the archive, and their web presence was downgraded in other ways. That older digital shift is not the same story, but it helps explain why this new property report landed with such force. Viewers didn't see it as isolated, they saw a pattern. But here's what people aren't noticing. The story is powerful precisely because it is so physical. A website edit feels abstract. A biography page being moved feels technical. But a home being reportedly stripped back to its pre-Sussex form? That's visual. You can imagine it. Different walls, different layout, different rooms, different identity. And once a story becomes easy to picture, it becomes easy to share. That's how these royal headlines escape the tabloids and turn into viral commentary fuel for US and UK audiences who don't even follow the monarchy closely. There's also another reason this blew up now. Frogmore is one of the last remaining places where Harry and Meghan's royal life still had a concrete address. After the interviews, the Netflix series, the memoir, the court battles, the public fallout, and the California reset, Frogmore still sat there as a weird kind of in-between symbol. Not fully theirs, not fully forgotten, but unmistakably tied to the period when it looked like they still had a future inside the institution. If that space is now being remade again, the emotional read is obvious. Even the backdrop is moving on, and the public reaction follows a very predictable arc. First comes confusion. Wait, didn't they already leave years ago? Then comes the sharper reaction. So this is not about them leaving, this is about removing what they left behind. Then comes debate. One side reads it as cold, deliberate image management. The other side says, relax. It's an empty crown property, and empty crown properties get reconfigured. That split is exactly why the story has staying power. It lets people project their existing beliefs about Harry, Meghan, Charles, and the monarchy onto one very convenient object, a house. Let's separate fact from theory for a second, because this is where a lot of coverage starts slipping. Confirmed background. Harry and Meghan lived at Frogmore Cottage. They repaid the renovation costs after stepping back, and they were asked to vacate in 2023. Confirmed current reporting. The Sun says plans are being reviewed to reverse the renovation, and People says that report claims several options are under consideration. Not confirmed that Buckingham Palace officially announced this. Not confirmed that construction has begun. Not confirmed that King Charles personally ordered some dramatic symbolic purge. Those leaps may be emotionally satisfying, but they are not established by the reporting we have. And this is where celebrity culture makes the whole thing even stranger. In normal life, if a former tenant's renovations are changed later, nobody calls it historical erasure. But royals don't live in normal life. Their homes are extensions of narrative. Their furniture choices become identity signals. Their floor plans become proxies for status. So when a report says the Sussex-era version of Frogmore may be undone, people don't hear renovation. They hear revision. They hear CLPI. They hear we're removing the evidence of that phase. Whether that interpretation is fair or not, it is absolutely why the story feels bigger than it technically is. There's another buried detail here that matters. Some of the more colorful renovation claims have become part of the myth of Frogmore. The copper tub, the designer decor, vegan paint, even the yoga room chatter. But not every detail is equally solid across outlets. People makes clear the broad multi-million renovation is established, while some specifics have been disputed. And that actually makes the story more revealing, not less. Because it shows how quickly factual renovation history gets turned into symbolic folklore once the couple at the center of it become culture war figures. So what's the deeper meaning? Maybe it's this. Institutions don't always answer controversy with confrontation. Sometimes they answer with architecture, procedure, silence, and time. A door closes, a title changes, a page disappears, a house gets reset, no speech, no argument, no emotional scene, just the slow removal of attachment points. And for viewers, that kind of quiet action often feels harsher than open conflict, because it suggests the machine doesn't need to fight you to outlast you. But here's the part nobody is talking about. This story may also expose a problem for the monarchy itself. If every reported change tied to Harry and Meghan immediately gets interpreted as symbolic deletion, that means the institution still hasn't escaped the Sussex gravity field. Even an empty cottage can reopen the whole argument. Even a renovation rumor can turn into a referendum on bitterness, reconciliation, and legacy. That's not closure. That's proof the rupture still has cultural heat, and maybe that's why this hit so hard with US and UK audiences at the same time. In Britain, Frogmore is loaded with monarchy, money, and symbolism. In America, it plays like a brutal Hollywood image story. The old set is being struck after the stars already left. Same event, two totally different cultural lenses, both emotionally sticky. One sees royal housekeeping. The other sees a breakup so complete the shared home is being edited out of the frame. So after all the thumbnails, all the viral phrasing, all the erasing final traces talk, here's what we're really left with. A reported plan, no full official confirmation, and a symbol that people instantly understood. Frogmore may simply be getting repurposed. Or it may become the clearest visual sign yet that Harry and Meghan's royal chapter is no longer just over. It's being physically reformatted. And if that's true, then the real story isn't whether a house changes. It's what it means when even the last recognizable backdrop of that chapter no longer looks the same. Because something about this still doesn't fully add up. If this is only practical, why does it feel so symbolic? And if it is symbolic, who is the message really for? Harry and Meghan, the public, or the institution itself? We'll have to see what happens next.